Hey everybody, we're back. Both Liz and I are out in the field. I'm Mark Privratsky here with Equal Time. I'm on the ground for Minnesota Aurora's game versus Rochester FC in Rochester. And Lis Schendel, who she did some work with us last summer to talk about Summer League, she is with Cal Storm, and they have a big game at Oakland Soul. At Oakland Soul, or hosting them?
Yeah, we're at Merritt College in Oakland right now. So we are visiting. It's been really
Yeah,
exciting to kind of see how their setup is.
yeah. It's games in what kickoff 2 p.m. Pacific, so a couple hours away.
Yeah, we're super early, just in case of Bay Area traffic. So yeah, we're about a couple hours early, and
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what we're used to. So
yeah.
for everybody, we've been mentioning on the pre-games all the added teams, and especially it's been noticeable to see some crazy score lines and just some like big players getting national team call up, stuff like that
hmm
from your conference in NorCal. So how has it been? You had the game against the Glens, which the Glens have been doing great.
hmm
Cal Storm equally a traditional powerhouse. Talk about the game on Friday.
Yeah,
Tough loss.
yeah, it was tough. Okay, so when I wear my Cal Storm hat, I'm like Team Cal Storm.
Uh
But
huh.
when I wear my like sometimes Protagonist soccer hat, I'm like, Glens are the real deal. Like, I see them going like super far. I knew ahead of time on Friday, like it was gonna be a super tough match. I don't think the Glens have ever been down. Like they've been leading every game they played. So,
Yeah.
you know, it was a tough loss, but also it felt like a big win because we beat. We had a goal up on them at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
And it was just a couple of bad defensive errors that the Glens took advantage of, which fair towards
Hmm.
the end of the second half. And we, ended up losing, but we were undefeated last season. Had a great time last year, and this was like our first. Yeah, this was our first loss, so it was a little painful. We don't lose too often at home, but
Yeah.
Glens are just so clinical, and they don't even have some of their best players right now. Like their best players are with the U20s
Hmm.
in Costa Rica right now. So next time we play them at their home, like we'll have even like I don't know, it's gonna be a great match. But
Hmm.
great game.
Yeah.
I was just honored to be there to see such a this is like the future, and I got to
Yeah.
watch it in my own backyard.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it's exciting for you and to see what little Storm is like some other teams where there's this rapid expansion of leagues and clubs like getting into the women's game. And part of it is kind of like where their men's team plays. And so you see that with USL clubs. But I'm wondering for you all, you still have a team in WPSL and then now you have the USLW league team. So are you prioritizing one or the other in terms of being like A and B squad, or is it a mix? How are you prioritizing that?
Yeah, we get asked that a lot, and I think it's a fair question because people want to know, like, and it doesn't. People think that you can only have certain players on one and they can't cross over, but actually we have approval for both leagues to have a
Yeah.
crossover. So the reason why we brought in, first of all, we wanted to be in USL because we were really confident in our team and our growth. And we
Yeah.
felt like USL was like the place to be, and USL really pushed to get us, so we expanded in. But still, for historic reasons, we wanted to stay in the WPSL to defend our title. We've been there for like 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So we kept a squad there as well, and we are allowed to have crossover for players. Because of the nature of the season, it's a really short season. 10 games max, basically, unless
Hmm.
playoffs. Players want game time
Yeah.
because they want that competitive minutes before their college seasons in the fall. So, yeah, we're allowed to have crossover. And so in that regard, no team is prioritized over the other.
Yeah.
We try to be as competitive as possible in both, like have streams, social media coverage, and whatnot. So yeah, we're not prioritizing either or. We want to win the trophy in both,
Yeah.
and we're really, of course, coming off a loss like on Friday, but we put in huge 90 minutes, and
Yeah.
we made Glenn's work for it. So we're really confident this year.
Yeah, that's sweet. Well, and how has it been? I am curious your perspective more from the Protagonist soccer perspective, looking at the league as a whole. Aurora had a 10-0 win on earlier this week, which,
Yeah.
of course, it's very fun to see goals. I did make the comment where there was a certain and there was communication from fans to me as well, where, of course, that's very fun, but then they have concern about, well, is the quality of competition, which we've seen blowouts in each area of the league. And I just wonder your thoughts on that, because of course it's not good for the game. It's not good for either team. The players from Racine drove themselves 5 hours to play a game to lose 10, where they didn't get anything out of it, to be blunt.
Yeah. I mean, they did get out the opportunity to play a really competitive team. They, the team itself got to see like what a well-run team looks like. And they're a new team, right? The team that they played. This is their first year. So like, and we played an 8-0 like a couple weeks ago. So, but the coaches are all friends. Like we all know each other. I will say like, yeah, it seems like, on the very like surface level, it seems bad, to have that blow up. It's not the NWSL where any team like Portland Thorns could get blown out by like 4-0 by the Pride one day, and then like, play 2-0. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's growing. I think that the team that you blew out 10-0 knows next season they need to be more serious about a professionalism recruitment. Just because it's pre-professional doesn't mean you don't need to hold yourself to professional standards. Maybe they need to look into their community and find community support so that next season they can cover like buses so the players don't have to drive 5 hours to like lose 10-0. Get that community support, and I think we're all just like learning together, and also the USLW league needs to hold the teams to a higher standard too. And I think,
I think that's part of it. I mean, because that was part of my concern, because there's been multiple times where the travel in our conference is certainly worse than in Northern California. So then teams really cut the corner of, they brought 13 players and one sub was a goalie, Liz. So like that, their own players, you could see just they're struggling. And you're at a certain point when you do 2 games a week, you're just putting players at risk, right? So there's certain things like that where, of course, you expect, Aurora to do well against a new team, but also I'm, thinking more, like you said, holistically about the players. I think it'd be good for the league to, encourage. I don't know if that's to be a hard standard, but I mean, I think teams, and whether that just is encouragement and support from the office of helping them build, towards, I don't know, but it'd be, I asked Coach Lukic of Aurora just the challenge, and I'm sure some of the teams in other conferences are thinking of it as well, just the challenge of how you prepare for games when you're going to have the ball the whole time and win by multiple goals, versus the playoffs won't be that at all, because the top 16 teams are going to be very tough. I'm sure we'll get a playoff field that is really a step up from last year.
Yeah, because I mean, it's really hard on the players to go from like winning 10-0 to then the next week playing like someone like Glenn's, and they're not used to being on the back foot. The pressure on the back line, like it's something that Nicole has to make sure her players are always, and that's when like something like similar in like Olympique Lyonnais, like in the French league, they don't have a super competitive league, but when they're having trainings against each other and they'll scrimmage against each other, that's when the most competitive, that's when they need to be ready for the Champions League. And that's the same with Aurora. So Nicole is such a capable person, coach, mentor. So watching them in the final last year, playing Tormenta, like they were ready to go.
And they have even more veterans this year. It's really wild to see that, because the average age is up at least a couple years, because a couple young players aren't here, and then everyone they added basically is like an adult with pro experience or a recent D1 and a grad. So it's been wild to see. And I will say, so speaking to the team we're visiting here, Rochester, they actually, they lost 5-0 to Aurora playing at Aurora, but they were missing a couple of key players, and it was their very first game at TCO, which every team has a struggle playing there for the first time because
Yeah.
just so few players have played in front of 5,000 fans. But Rochester, they showed a lot of grit. They've shown, you know, close results in other games, even like losing to Green Bay, but Green Bay has been competitive. And I just want to give a shout because this is a huge community college stadium. Shout out to the Yellow Jackets of the Rochester Community and Technical College, Liz. But yeah, so I expect to see people out. There's 3 buses of fans coming down from the Twin Cities, Liz. So we're gonna have a whole Aurora section down here.
Yeah, you guys travel deep. Not to brag, but Brandy Chastain's rolling with us today. So
hey, that's a tattoo I need on my leg, Liz. It's a tattoo. I need the signature. I need the signature. I have Rose Lavelle. Brandy's sister-in-law coaches the Gophers, but it doesn't matter because Brandy's team is always in like the and she's coaching as well, and she's in the tournament, so she can't ever come, you know, to Minnesota. That's amazing. Well, certainly we know you have the high-profile alums. Riding high with the Bay Area NWSL announcement, I'm sure too. Liz, are you geeked?
Yeah, I'm so geeked. I got to hang out with them yesterday and like kind of see how the community is excited. Like I've never really like been out and about and seen like a Chelsea women's like jersey like in the streets.
Yeah.
And it was cool to kind of just see like Fran Kirby, like someone. It's not even like Alex Morgan, like anyone but Alex Morgan. Like I was seeing those jerseys out there, so it's just cool. I'm excited. It's like it's happening. Like we get to experience, you and I, like because we're so close to these teams, like we get to see the rise of women's soccer, and it's so exciting. We're so blessed. We're so lucky.
Yeah, no, I definitely hopped in right as the and it's just we're causing it, Liz. We'll just I hopped in right at the bandwagon, getting right. I hopped in right before. I only covered women's soccer truly the summer prior to Aurora playing. And then that fall, I've watched it, but and then when Aurora started, I was like, well, I know half these players by chance because I happened to start doing it, you know. So shout out for Matt for starting equal time at the right time too, getting the ball rolling. He's just coming back today, Liz, from the Dominican Republic, where he was covering a Minnesotan down there playing Maddie Darlene. She was killing it. So they've qualified, I think, as well. So that's good, which you'd expect. Cool. Well, Liz, enjoy the game. So there's going to be a crowd there. For people who haven't seen, I mean, check out socials on I know we're here talking about Rochester and Aurora, but check out the Oakland Soul socials because it's wild scenes there. You're going to have fun.
Yeah, it's a really good environment. I've never really been in such a hostile environment as a team representative, so we're excited. We kind of want to break some hearts today, not gonna lie. But
nice. And for Aurora fans, just so you know, this would be way down the line. I think it would probably have to be like a semifinal, basically, of the USLW. But maybe then we would face Cal Storm or one of these Oakland Soul or Glens out west. But got to win at games like in Rochester first. So, Liz, wish you luck. Wish your Storm luck today in Oakland, and we'll hopefully see some good goals in Rochester today.
Thank you so much. You too as well.
All right, later.
Bye.